gon' talk. Tamaya gon' talk about Tamaya.
Hello. Welcome to the Tamaya Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about dirty salt water. And what that talks about is there's a scripture, one of my favorite scriptures in one of my favorite books, and that is the book of James. And it's James 3:11. And it says, can salt water and fresh water come from the same spring? And what they're basically talking about, if you read the whole chapter, it basically says, can you say positive things and negative things out the same mouth, right? Can you be a good person and a bad person at the same time? The answer is no. And I love that scripture because it specifically is telling you you can't. So what that means is it's dirty salt water. So I use it in reference to me. There's a story specifically that comes to mind and I wanted to share it. So now that we're all getting kind of acclimated and we're getting more comfortable with each other and we're coming into our healing journey and coming into all the things that we need to talk about as people who've been a part of childhood sexuality or sexualized or touched, molested, raped, and or looked at inappropriately. Whatever it is in your life, if it happened, and it doesn't have to be specifically childhood, but I count, if you were 16, 17, 18, that counts too. Okay, somebody asked me, hey, I was 19. If you felt victimized and it was 19, then you're in it, right? This is for anybody who felt like it wasn't what they wanted, right? So dirty salt water talks about this. If you ever feel like you are two people at the same time, right? We're all two people at the same time, who we are and who we aspire to be. Well, sometimes we're good, sometimes we're bad, sometimes we're negative, sometimes we're positive, right? For me, my image in my community is pretty upright, pretty positive. I go around, I smile, I'm listening to Kirk Franklin some days, listen to music to myself in the car. Nobody knows me. I smile at my neighbors, very friendly, don't cause any trouble, never. That's just my demeanor. So, where I live, and I live in an apartment, one night, a friend that has been talking to me, let's just say for about a year, she contacts me and she says, hey, I want to hang out. And I say, okay, you want to hang out. Now, two things you guys know, about me. One of them is that I'm a part of the LGBTQ community. The reason why this was so interesting was because I told myself I was no longer going to be participating as far as participation in the LGBTQ community. But it's always like that until that next person, isn't it? Or is that just me? But anyway, that's the truth. You can lie to yourself. Anyways, this person hits me up. And she says, hey, can I come over? And I said, okay, cool. Long story short, she comes over. All right, she's there. And we're hanging out. We're having an adult beverage. We're talking, we're hanging, we're chilling. And we're smoking, right? And so I'm thinking, oh, wow, we're having a great time. No one knows, it's just me and her. We have the weekend free to ourselves. We're having a good time. I'll say 2 hours into talking. So 2 hours into talking. So she probably arrived at about 8. It's about 10 p.m. Bing, bing. I hear doorbell. I'm like, this is weird because I'm not expecting anybody. Who could this be? Who should this be? And who could this be? Can't be nobody. Either way. It's maintenance. It's a maintenance man. This is horrible news. With the atmosphere full of smoke, with the beverages, just not the time for anybody to be at the door here with me. It's just not it. But I have to because I can't, because you can hear the music and someone's here. Got it. So I creep in. Hi. I'm so sorry, but we have to go in and check your washing machine because it's leaking into your downstairs neighbor's bathroom. Whew. And because he's my friend, a real good friend, a really awesome person, I didn't want to keep him waiting. So I just had to open the door with all the shame and all the sorrow and allow him to come in and see this. Ooh, now look, when he opened that door, face hit the floor. This wasn't the Kirk Franklin stomp he was expecting to see. So he realized with the entertainment I had and the beverages, he's looking like, what's going on? Who's this lady? And how'd you kidnap my friend? Unfortunately, it's just who I really am. So when he came in, he was moving at a snail's pace. He could barely move. He was so shocked. And that's what hurts the most because I really felt tormented by the fact that I let him down. I'm like, Oh, and I want to be clear. I want to be really clear. It is not what I was doing. It's the fact that I got caught. Okay, because that's where I was at. But for his level of disappointment in me, that's what's bringing the accountability. I couldn't handle it. And he's just like, what happened to the lady I know? That's not who I am. That's what's the problem. You don't know me. You don't know what this is. That's what I'm talking about in this episode, dirty salt water. Are you fresh or are you clean? And which one do you really, really want to be when it's all said and done? I want to be fresh. I want to be real. I want to be authentic. I want to be saved. I don't want to be in and out of every behavior for the rest of my life, especially when I know it's wrong. But I say it out loud. I let everybody know I know it's wrong. But if you're still going to do it, that's a part of being grown. That's a part of being accountable. Sure. Right. So yeah. Okay. It happened. Still had to let him in. Still handled it. Okay. Sure. I had my company leave due to accountability and feeling like not great, but that was my own personal convictions. I didn't like how it made me feel, and it made me so feels like I'm so far apart of who I'm supposed to be. Yes, it is who I am, but that's not who I'm supposed to be. How do you know? It's just a feeling in your chest. If you feel something tugging you and saying, you can be better than this. You got to be in here in the dark, hanging out in secret. This ain't got to be your testimony. This is not who you are. If that's pulling at your heartstrings and you're like, hey, I need to come out from the dark. Come out from among them and be ye separate. Separate yourself from the darkness and do things that you can do in the light without shame. It was the immense amount of guilt I felt. Like I said, he knows me as the Kirk Franklin stop lady. Now he knows me as the secret late night party girl. I don't want that. I want to be the stomp lady, if that makes any sense. And maybe you've been feeling, man, I want to be better than this. I want to stop drinking. I want to stop hanging out. I want to stop being with random men and women who don't love me and don't want to have me be better. If that's you, right? If you feel like, yeah, this is some dirty salt water and I want to be fresh. I want to be restored. I want to be clean. Good. Take this journey with me. Keep supporting. Keep watching this show. We are going to get there this year. There is no timeline because we're forward thinking, right? Progress is progressive. We got to keep on working at it every day, one foot in front of the other. Eye on the prize. What is the prize? Healing, love, trust, respect, and community. If we have friends, family, people who don't mind hearing our stories about trauma and abuse and how we're trying to cope with it, heal with it, and deal with it. If we find that, then I think we can start to be fresh water instead of having to hide those guilty pleasures when really it's not a guilty pleasure. It's who you are. So when you do something 80% of the time, that's a lifestyle. So it's almost saying, who am I really and why? But if you ever feel bad and you ever feel ashamed, if you ever feel like, oh, let me hide, that's just not who you are. And we know that. You should never feel sad or ashamed. So it did remind me, if you're out there and you feel like, wow, I'm, who I am and who I want to be is just two different people in that scenario, though nothing happened and though nothing's happened for a long time, but still the thought, still that temptation, still that desire still lingers. And again, when you broke those boundaries and you started participating in those behaviors, patterns form. And unfortunately for me, this is a part of my pattern, late night rendezvous with people from my past. Sure, they're trusted. Sure, everything's a great time. But at the end of the day, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm so tired of it. And I think also that's why I'm exposing it. It's like, let me do the right thing and tell everybody. That way I can add the accountability I need. Now, nothing happened and I thank God for that. Okay, good. This is helping me transition out of this and, back to the right standing and leadership. But at the end of the day, you also do need to be very real and honest with yourself and accountable to yourself. Nothing will ever change in your life if you aren't honest with yourself. So dirty salt water just talks about, like the scripture talks about, you can't be cussing, you can't be drinking, you can't be smoking, you can't be fornicating, and that's just what it is. And for me, I do want to get better. I don't know when I'm going to get better. I don't know when I'm going to be great. I hope by like 45 to 47, I don't know, approaching grandmother ages. I just think one day I'm just going to step into righteousness. I don't know. No, I'm kidding. But dirty salt water, right? If you're dirty, and this is just for all my people who are on this healing journey with me, some days I'm up, some days I'm down, some days I'm doing great, some days I'm relapsing. I don't know. But one thing I won't do is lie. And that's what I want to encourage you to do. no matter what you do, just don't lie to yourself and don't lie to people. If they came over, they came over. If you smoked it, you smoked it. If you stroked it, you stroked it. Whatever you did it. And be proud of who you are, because one day, just one day, you might change. One day you'll mature. One day you'll grow, and then you can be proud of who you become. But when you were dirty, when you still had these little behaviors and sneaking and creeping, and you did all of that, you will remember these times when you'll say, you know what, at least I kept it real so I can come up out of that. You know what I mean? You'll never be able to admit that you need to come out of something if you never admitted that you were in it. So this is like my way of letting you know, I was dirty, I was guilty, that happened, and because that happened, I was like, okay, you need to leave. And shortly after she did, but that wasn't the purpose. The purpose of the story is the look on his face as a community member, as someone, and it's like, what's the real big problem? It's nothing. It's me. When you feel like you should be better, the accountability is all your own. If you're not disappointed, don't be. But me, I think where I'm at in my life and just where I want things to go, and then who I'm trying to become, I just want to be a little bit better, even if it's just by an inch, right? And if that's you, if you just want to be better by an inch, just be better. If you just say no to one thing or one date or one conversation or one man or one woman, just say no. It takes those little baby steps to be like, okay, I'm up out of that. I'm up out of that, and I'm set free and I'm letting go. Thank you.
We gon' talk about it. Tamaya. We gon' talk about it. Tamaya gon' talk. Tamaya gon' talk about it. We gon' talk. Tamaya gon' talk.